Have you ever stopped to wonder what's really happening under the hood of the internet? Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain and take a look at the secret conversations that keep our entire digital world online and running smoothly.
I mean, think about it. For every single website you visit, every video you stream, there's this constant, completely invisible chatter going on between all the devices. And no, this isn't your data. This is the internet talking to itself, running checks and balances to make sure your connection stays fast, stable, and reliable.
And the language for that hidden conversation? It's called ICMP, the Internet Control Message Protocol. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a network technician's toolbox. It's just filled with these simple but pretty ingenious tools that give feedback on what's happening with your data as it zips across the network. So let's open up that toolbox. The very first, and by far the most common tool we're going to find, is the digital version of a simple handshake, or, like shouting Marco across a pool and just waiting for that polo in return. It's the famous ping test. And it really is that simple. Just like you see here with these two hosts, one computer sends out a tiny little message called an echo request. It's basically asking, hey, are you there? If the other computer is online and hears it, it sends back an echo reply that just says, yep, I'm here. This is the most fundamental, rock-solid test of internet connectivity there is. What's so powerful about this is that this one simple tool lets you run a logical three-step diagnostic. So if your internet is down, you don't have to just guess why. You can use ping to methodically figure out where the problem is. You start small by testing yourself, then you test your local network, and finally, you test the connection out on the wider internet.
First up, you test yourself. By pinging this special address, 127.0.0.1, your computer's literally talking to itself. If you get a reply, that confirms your machine's core networking software is up and running. If this fails, well, you know the problem is right there on your own device. Okay, for step 2, you just widen the circle a little bit. You ping your default gateway, which for most of us is just our home router. A successful reply here means you can talk to the box that connects you to the rest of the world. So now you know your computer is fine, and your local connection to the router is fine. But what happens when things don't work? What if a ping fails or a website just won't load? Well, that's when we reach for the next set of tools in our ICMP toolbox, the error reports. And trust me, these are way more valuable than you might think. You see, an ICMP error isn't just a failure, it's a diagnostic clue. It's the network's way of telling you exactly why something went wrong. It's kind of like sending a letter and getting it sent back, but it's stamped with address unknown or no such mailbox. It gives you the specific reason your message couldn't get delivered. And you can see right here how those clues have gotten so much better over time. With the older ICMPv4, you might just get a really vague host unreachable. Okay, not super helpful. But with the newer ICMPv6, the message is much clearer, like admin prohibited, which basically screams a firewall is blocking you. Better clues mean way faster troubleshooting. All right, so we've seen how to check if something is online and how to get clues when it's not. But what if we could take one of those error messages and cleverly turn it into a map of the entire internet? Let's check out the master tool in the ICMP toolbox, Traceroute. Now, this is where it gets really, really cool. How on earth can a message that literally means time's up be used to trace the exact hop-by-hop journey your data takes from your computer to a server maybe thousands of miles away? The whole secret is this one specific error: time exceeded. See, every little packet of data has a built-in counter called a time to live, or TTL, and every time that packet passes through a router, that counter ticks down by 1. If it ever hits 0, the router just discards the packet, and this is the key. It sends a time-exceeded message right back to you. And this is the genius part. Traceroute sends a packet, but with a TTL of just 1. So it hits the very first router on its journey, the TTL expires, and that router sends back a time-exceeded message telling you its address. Then Traceroute sends another packet, this time with a TTL of 2. It sails past the first router and expires at the second one, which then sends its address back. By just increasing the TTL by 1 each time, it forces every single router along the path to introduce itself one by one. And the final result looks like this: a perfect step-by-step list of every single hop. You get to see the address of each router and how long it took for your message to get there and come back. You've literally just used an error message to create a precise map of your data's journey across the internet. How cool is that? Now, of course, as the internet evolves, so does its toolbox. The modern internet, which runs on IPv6, has given ICMP some incredible new powers that make our networks a whole lot smarter and way more automated.
So here are just two quick examples. On the left, we've got something called router advertisement. This lets a new computer just automatically get all the info it needs to connect. On the right, neighbor solicitation lets devices find each other on a local network without any manual setup. It's all about making the network smarter and more self-sufficient.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, ICMP is that essential toolbox for the internet. Ping is the simple handshake to see if anyone's home. Those error messages, they aren't failures, they're valuable clues telling us why things broke. And Traceroute cleverly uses one of those errors to build a literal map. And with ICMPv6, that toolbox is just getting smarter and more automated all the time. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other elegant solutions and invisible conversations are happening right now, just beneath the surface of the apps and websites that we all use every single day? It's pretty amazing to think about.